What's up, everyone? This is the BumCast presented by Windy City Sports Cards. I'm your host, HBIC, the head bum in charge, along with Baloney, Southside Bum, Dougie Fresh, and guys, it's the most magical time of the year. It's draft week, baby.
We're back.
Oh, yeah.
We're back talking Bears. We got our Bears hat on, Johnny. Your hat looks good. We got our Bears intro going. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful time of the year. Just a little respite to where we don't have to talk so much baseball for at least a couple weeks. So I'm excited.
Yep. And once again, we got our very good friend Gas Money Bob. He'll be joining us in a few minutes to talk draft and the mocks and what the Bears should do and all that good stuff. But guys, happy Monday. Happy post-Easter. How are we all doing after the long holiday weekend?
Dude, I'm jet lagged. Dude, the cooking, the mania, everything, like I feel like I took like a flight overseas today. I'm feeling pretty brutal.
I told you guys pre-show, man, like I had a list of stuff I wanted to do today and I slugged on the couch all day. It's you're cooking, you're drinking, walking around doing all the stuff with family and stuff. Yeah, it wears on you, dude. Like waking up today, not fun. All right.
I don't know.
Peter, how you doing?
Pause.
I'm doing good. I lost my headphones for a second, but I'm back.
Oh,
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're Gucci, baby. Like I said, I'm just ready to talk a little bit of football. It's that time of year. I know Julie's excited about what the Steelers are gonna do. I'm doing mock drafts like an idiot. Like I think I did. Well, we're gonna talk about it later with Gas Money Bob, but I want to present you with a bunch of different mock drafts. I think I did like 20 over the weekend. All the same, but exciting nonetheless.
Like, no, sorry, family, I can't spend time with you on Easter. I got mocks to do. Johnny, how you doing?
Oh, man.
Great. I mean, happy Easter to everybody. I don't think we even said that when we were on the show last night. But happy Easter to everybody. I hope everybody had a good weekend and with the family and wherever you were at. So, I'm with Dougie. I had a very long weekend, of running around, doing errands, and just it was a very, very good weekend though. So I did have a lot of fun. It was just like I said, it was a little too long.
Yeah. Well, you said you saw a concert last night.
Yes. So me and Missy went to see Starvos. If you've never seen the comedian before, he has some specials on Netflix, and he's got, I think, one or two, or you can watch it on YouTube as well too. Very funny. Very funny comedian. He's from Baltimore. Huge Ravens fan, and every time that the Baltimore Ravens either win or lose, this guy's doing comedy genius when it comes to all this stuff. And obviously he still misses Joe Flacco. But it was a good show. And that was the first time ever. It was at the Chicago Theater. First time I actually went there before. And I had fun. It was an in and out where I didn't know where to sit or anything like that, or how to find my seat. So I had to ask somebody. So that was the first time I went to the theater, and very nice, very beautiful theater. I enjoyed where I was sitting because we actually were sitting on the floor. So we were sitting down below, and we had incredible seats. And it was fun. I mean, first time doing that. I would love to go to more of his shows. Obviously, I'm a big fan of some of the other people that he hangs around with as well too. That East Coast comedians, if you want to call it that. So it was funny. It was great. Me and Missy had a good time, and I think one of the funniest things though is that when we were coming out of the theater, I told Missy, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to get an Uber. I'm just going to hail down a taxi. Taxis is pretty quick in the city because they're driving all around. I feel like if I called an Uber around that area, it's going to be too busy. So she was like, taxis, like, are you sure? Like, we should probably get an Uber. I'm like, no, just trust me on this. It's going to be a lot quicker. I was like, I don't even know. Like, are you sure they got taxis in the city? Like, she was
Do they even exist anymore?
I was puzzled by that. There was actual taxis that actually existed. I mean, that's what she was saying. The minute that we walked the block, got a taxi, and we were on our way back. It was, I told you, it was the
Hell
quickest
yeah.
versus just getting an Uber because a lot of people were, coming out of the theater. He had 2 shows as well, too. He had a 7 o'clock and he had a 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
As soon as, he had the crowd going out for that one, there was people waiting in line for the second show. So
Turnover.
people there, yes. But overall, it was a great time. I would definitely like to go back again and watch a show. And then hopefully she could realize that, hauling down a taxi is an actual real thing downtown.
I was going to say,
she wants to tell her side of the story. I'm interested to see the he said, she said of this scenario.
Yeah.
I was going to say, worst case scenario, all you got to do is just go to a mirror and say Praz's name 3 times, and he'll show up and give you a ride anywhere you need.
That's true. I didn't know if he was at a Cubs game or Wrigley
Bloody Praz, Buddy Praz, Buddy Praz.
I sometimes I always forget a Praz. I'm sorry. Yeah.
If it would have been Friday night, 0 chance he drives you anywhere because he was at that Cubs game and they scored like 55,000 runs on Friday. So there was 0 chance he was driving anybody on Friday. But yeah, Saturday maybe you could have called Praz. Dude, when's the last time you guys hailed a cab? I was thinking about this. Like
Years.
Vegas is still cab city. Like everywhere you go, we hail cabs in Vegas. But in the city, I don't even remember when the last time I've hailed a cab.
Yeah, I don't remember
always,
either.
Uber, Lyft. But I do like that idea, Johnny. Everyone is doing the Lyft and Uber thing. Just grab a quick cab. How much was the cab compared to the Uber?
It was exact same. It was the exact same thing as how we got to the Chicago theater. So it was like about $18 to get to downtown, and it was about $18 to get back home. So I mean, it was the exact same amount. So I'm telling you, it's probably the easiest route. If you're ever downtown and you just want to just call a cab, it's probably the easiest way to get out of there instead of just waiting for an Uber. It's going to be the exact same amount. That's just my 2 cents on that.
No.
Yeah, me. I was just going to say, me and Joey just were using cabs in Mexico because they don't have Uber. So
now remember, when you call a cab, though, you're legally required to say the cabs are here.
Cabs are here.
Cabs are here.
I was gonna say, Joey P saying Uber don't run in El Rancho, and Dougie, I guess you said you're going with you're bearing the lead. Are you going to Mexico with Joey?
No, we just got back from Mexico.
Oh, yeah. There's Ubers. I went to Guadalajara for my sister's wedding not too long ago, 2 years ago. Uber everywhere. I Ubered everywhere.
Oh, no, sure.
But that's a bigger city.
This was Cozumel.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Was the Ubers a lot cheaper there though?
Yeah, Ubers are dirt cheap in Guadalajara. I mean, everywhere I went, it was like $5. It was like I was driving like 40 minutes, $5.
Dude, I will tell you this, and not to hold up everything, but I had an experience in Mexico, and I felt super unsafe in a car this time. Okay. This was the first time that I ever got into a car in Mexico, and the check engine light wasn't on. The check engine light wasn't on, and I felt very uncomfortable because that is like a customary, like every single light on the dash is on the car in Mexico.
This is the most racist shit you ever heard. I've ever heard in my life. What are you talking about,
dude?
They got mechanics in Mexico too. They got ODM meters in Mexico.
Don't, but dude, I'm telling you, every time I get into a cab in Mexico, dude, every single light is everywhere on.
Yeah, but you get from point A to point B, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see, perfect. They know what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying. I was just worried because the lights weren't on. I was like, shit, this thing's, yeah.
All right, before we get to our guest and some Bears talk, I just want to address some allegations that were hurled my way last Thursday when I was at the Sox game. And I got a lot of shit for not diving for a home run ball that fell into section 108. And I want to point out for the record, and there was witnesses, we had Tania, we had Praz there as well. That ball did not bounce in the section. It bounced in the premium seating right before and did a high hop about 10, 15 feet over my head. And people were like, well, you gotta make a play. You gotta make a play on that ball.
Anticipate the hop.
jump over the wall? Like, I don't know what people.
No one's expecting you to jump over the wall. You're not gonna Juan Uribe that ball. You got to anticipate it coming short and move back so you can anticipate the hop. This sounds like this. I'm just saying. A younger, athletic HBIC makes that play. I've seen it before. You've shocked people in the past with your athleticism. We might talk about this later in the show as well. I had more faith in you. I thought you could have made that play.
Wasn't there nobody in back of you either?
No, there was people sitting. There were people sitting in the rows, but it bounced high, went about 20 rows back, and then. We bounced over into 109.
Wow, that's a magical baseball.
Yeah.
All right. I've had a couple balls come close, not like
we know.
You know, not like reaching. You son of a bitch. Not like reaching distance, but close enough that it scares you. Did your asshole pucker up a little bit?
Because I was track out I had my head turned at first. I was talking to Nia, who was sitting behind me. And like you heard it off the bat, and then I look up and it's coming, and I'm tracking it, but I knew it was dropping short. So I was hoping that it was gonna take like a nice bounce, and I was on the aisle, the end seat of the aisle, so I was ready to go. But when I saw how high it bounced over, I just hoped for a nice ricochet back down, but it didn't happen. It went into 109. So
you know what we gotta do? We gotta figure out some sort of way. We gotta talk to some people. Maybe Aloha Mr. Hand has a couple connections. We gotta get you in the outfield with all the kids for the home run derby contest. You know when all the kids are tracking the balls. I need to see you there. I really want to see how you when you said I was reading it. I'm like, how much are you really reading it? We got to get you tracking some balls.
Well, I knew it wasn't coming right at me. Let me put it that way. I knew it. You can tell when a home run, like a ball's coming close by you, and it did. Like I said, it did bounce in the section below. But the way I was reading it, as people expected me to like jump over the wall or like reach over the wall or something for it, and that just wasn't happening.
I got it. Jason didn't have his glasses. That's why he didn't read the ball correctly. You got to wear those glasses, man.
I don't like wearing the glasses, man.
Well, see, that's why
we're getting old. We got to wear them.
Yeah, but I got dragged a lot for it, and I felt it was, if I kept like in the section, I could have I'll hang my head in shame. But the way where it bounced, the hop it took, I feel like I was getting unnecessarily dragged for something that was out of my control. That's all.
Well, the internet likes to drag. I mean, once people pile on. We all know this. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's anybody. But like once people get going, it's easy for people to pile on. But yeah, I thought I had more faith. I was like, oh, my guy could have made a play on it, but maybe not.
Yeah, that the drop between the 108 and the premium section.
It's a big hop. Yeah,
it's a big hop. I ain't trying to. Maybe I should have went for it and made a workers' comp player play on Jerry.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been so in my head about getting DMCA'd for any sort of sports highlights. We're not playing sports highlights anymore, and even if it's just a video that we took, because I screenshotted it and I posted it on Twitter. I'm so scared of the YouTubes right now and the Googles that no more highlights.
Yeah. Do you think anybody's gonna come after for a Sox game though? A replay?
You would think, Jerry.
Did you see the percentages down of what with the Blackhawks and the Bulls? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. Rough. With that, let's get some Bears up. Before that, quick ad from our sponsor. The BumCast is proudly sponsored by Windy City Sports Cards, who specializes in buying and selling all things related to Chicago sports. Whether you are a diehard fan of the Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, White Sox, or Cubs, they have you covered with an extensive selection of sports memorabilia and collectibles. In addition to Chicago-focused items, they also offer a vast selection of sports trading cards and memorabilia from your favorite teams and players. So visit their online store at 312WindyCitySportsCards.com to find exactly what you are looking for to complete your collection or discover a new favorite. And there he is, the one and only, the legendary Gas Money Bob. Welcome back to the BumCast. Glad to have you. Good to see you, my man.
Good to be back. How you guys doing?
We're ready to bear down, baby.
Oh yeah,
There,
right around the
there you
corner.
go. Got
I like
the
that.
shirt there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, like Frank, Bob, like we said in the beginning of the show, like, you know, I'm out here doxing and shit.
Jeez.
God damn me. Bum me.
We'll cut that. We'll cut that in post.
Yeah, cut that in post.
Doesn't matter.
It's the most magical time of the year, and we're ready for the draft. So, we got a lot of mock drafts to go over. Peter spent the whole weekend doing them, so let's get into them. Let's talk about what we think the Bears are going to do, because this draft could go in a million directions right now, and I don't think I've seen like a lot of consensus for what the Bears are going to do at 10.
No, it's been crazy. I mean, just like you, Peter, I've been doing mock drafts, watching YouTube mock drafts, reading mock drafts, reading, top 50 lists, top 100 lists. I see Campbell, Graham, Membu, Jonty, Mike Green, Loveland, all those guys. Who's the other tight end? Why am I forgetting his name? The guy from Penn State.
Warren?
Yeah,
Warren. I mean, Hampton. You see all these guys I've seen mock to the Bears. So who knows what's going to happen? All I know is I don't want them to trade up.
Yeah, so that's where I wanted to.
Unless it's for Carter.
That's where
Yes.
I wanted to start with.
I agree.
And before we get to the mocks that I, drew up and get everyone's opinions on it. We've talked about it in the past, Dougie. We keep talking about solidifying the trenches, and there's different ways to go about it, or, the defensive line is short and there's not a lot of depth there. So obviously another pass rusher to go alongside Montez Sweat would be awesome. But it sounds like Ben Johnson and everyone, Ryan Poles, are kicking the tires on maybe another offensive draft or first pick on an offensive player. Where do you stand on it? Because there is no real consensus, like you mentioned. I know there's a lot of really good players in the draft, but unless you're, moving up to 3, which I don't think the Bears have or should have to do, there's no real consensus on a lot of these guys.
No, I mean, my feeling is if Genty's there, they're going to take him. But I'm worried about the left tackle. He's coming off of the ankle injury or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Who knows if he's going to be ready? Karan Amadage, he wasn't very impressive last year. Of course, he didn't have training camp and stuff, so maybe he'll be better this year. But you can't trust that. So I kind of want them to get a tackle, but I don't like any of the tackles other than Membu and Campbell there, which I don't think either of them will be there. So you either have to, hopefully, honestly, I think the best case scenario would be trading back, then maybe getting like Kelvin Banks or even like Omarion Hampton later on in the first round. And then, use those second round picks and whatever, if you could trade back, whatever you could get, in addition, hopefully another second rounder. Then in the second round, you could really fill out, the trenches, or you could go for that wide receiver or even a safety. I mean, they have a lot more needs than people realize. Like, when's the last time they've addressed linebacker?
Yeah,
Been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
What's this? Shane McLennan, I think, maybe.
Right?
That might be.
Seriously, I mean, like
It's been a while.
Well, Roquan.
Oh yeah, that's right. Roquan, yeah.
But they said bye to him because they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah.
Wasn't really.
He didn't seem like he wanted to be here anyway, so that's fine. He gone.
Yeah.
I do miss
I've been saying for the past few weeks, I think this is the first draft that Ryan Poles is going to trade up. I think if Carter falls to 4, maybe he makes a move. 5, I think definitely. And I think, hopefully we have Ian Cunningham who's going to pull him back, because I think if, there's a lot of talk that Jaguars want to take Genty, that could just be smoke for them to try to get someone to trade up. You know, make like they were like happened with Rome, that he almost got bit for, you know, trading up to take Rome. I don't know the likelihood that Genty actually falls to 10. I think it's probably 20% chance that, you know, he's there. But I think this is the first year that Poles is going to actually trade up instead of trading back. I think he's just going to want to get aggressive and go with the luxury that he has those 2 second-round picks.
If it's for Carter, then I'm okay with it. But if it's for anybody else, I mean, they're not going to get Hunter. I don't think Hunter is really a need for us, even though he's pretty awesome. And obviously, they don't need a quarterback. So Carter's the only one. You can't trade up. You can't trade future draft capital for a running back as good as Genty is, or could be, I should say, because who knows if he's going to be good or not. You know, the only guy I would trade up for is Carter, because that guy could be 10 to 15 year, you know, piece of the defense, you know, like running backs' lives are too short in the NFL.
Yeah, he's generational at this point, but I just don't see with a talent like him, like unless something crazy happens with the quarterbacks to start off with, which I don't think the quarterbacks are good enough for teams to really make a run for them, as opposed to you know, like an Abdul Carter. So yeah, you mentioned Jay, the Jacksonville scenario where the Jaguars got a new GM. I'd be interested to see what his approach to this is going to be, because there's a chance he's really pragmatic about things and does trade down to, you know, get more picks, because he's going to want to start building that team in his way. And if he could get a couple more picks, I wouldn't be shocked if he's willing to trade out of his position. The other thing about Genty is obviously the Raiders, and you guys mentioned the smoke screens. It's draft season, but it's also smoke screen season. And as much as the Raiders have been, you know, very much like the Bears and the Browns and like the, you know, the bottom half of the league, like they make some boneheaded decisions. I don't think they're a running back away. And I know Ashton Genty is, you know, awesome, and he could transform a franchise, and he's that talented. But I wonder if that's more smokescreen than anything. But then again, Al Davis is crazy. He's crazy enough that once he likes somebody, he likes them, and they might draft a running back that high. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go, just because it's like there's so many different scenarios. There's just not one way to go about it, especially this season.
Yeah, I truly believe that they're going to trade back. I really don't think that they're going to stay at 10. I think they're going to move back. It's kind of the reason why, like Aloha, Mr. Hand, a couple other people or whatever invited us to like the draft party at Soldier Field. And I just didn't want to pot commit to it, because I'm not sure, like, you know, who knows how far back they go in one, you know. I would also like to see them maybe capitalize on somebody that wants to move up and maybe take a player and some draft picks and, you know, swap out some stuff that way too. I'd be totally all right with that. I hope that they don't go offense right out of the gates, just because I really don't want to see them fall back into the same old Bears draft that they always do. I want to see them really like go ahead and address the stuff that needs to be addressed. Got to get Caleb full protection. And I also want to have quarterbacks scared of our defensive line too. So they just got to stay the course on this one. And I truly believe that they're going to bounce back. So.
You know, I really don't, just real quick, I really don't think that they need to trade unless it's something worth trading for. Bob, you mentioned Abdul Carter. I've seen some of his games. That dude is a fucking beast. That guy is an edge rusher I would definitely trade to go get, because he is somebody that can definitely change that defensive line. I've been telling people about the draft. This is a running back heavy draft. You know, if Jenny is there at 10, and if the Bears do this. Listen, we have to think about this as well, too. This is not only Poles, but this is Ben Johnson that is also coming in and is in his ear and just telling him, like, hey, this is what my offense needs. I need to get this. And if we need to do this or we need to do that, then okay. If Jetty is the running back that he wants, let's just stay put there. But I just don't think that, you have to get a running back at number 10. Even if he's there, I still think you have a lot of good running backs. You got the 2 running backs at Ohio State. You got the running back at Iowa as well, too. So, and I do like Cam Scadaboo as well, too. But I just think that that you don't have to go and just get the running back. I want to beef up that line. I want to get the O-line. That's one thing too, is that we've got a lot of what's the average age on the offensive line right now? Between 27 to 32 right now.
They
got a lot of veterans. They got a lot of veterans on that offensive line. I want to get offensive line for the future so they could build upon that as well too. So I think if we get an offensive tackle in Ben Johnson we trust, and Poles we trust, this is where I have to go with that because Ben Johnson is the one that's going to be running this offense. It's not Poles. He's going to have to be talking. They're going to have to both communicate here, and obviously Cunningham as well too. But I think that I don't think you have to trade either up or back to get anybody. If you're at number 10 and there's a player available, whether it's Genty or Will Campbell, you got choices there. And that's the perfect scenario for you to whether, pick. Now, everybody's going to probably get pissed off as oh, you got Will Campbell, but you didn't get Genty. And, it's going to is it going to be the same thing that we had with, what's his name, with Jalen Carter? You know what I'm saying? I think that, I think you could go either way. I just would rather have an offensive tackle or even a defensive tackle if he's available as well too. I like to bolster up that defensive line as well too. But either way, I'm going to trust whatever Ben Johnson does and whatever Poles does, because at the end of the day, Ben Johnson is going to be running that offense for years to come. And I trust whatever player he wants on that team that's going to make that offense run better. Then I'm just going to go with whatever they think that it's the best available player at that time.
Yeah, I'll be honest with Johnny. If Will Campbell drops to 10, I don't think anybody's going to be pissed that they draft him instead of. I don't think they're both going to be there. That's pie in the sky scenario. But if that scenario does end up happening, I don't think anyone's going to get pissed if they draft Campbell instead of Ashton Genty. But yeah, like you mentioned, at this point, they have the luxury of going best case scenario, best player available, because if they can, they got 3 picks in the top 42 or whatever, 43, or realistically you're kind of have to hit and draft 2 out of 3 starters, right? Are we all happy if they go 2 day 1 starters and then another project that either is getting into the mix or something like that? Because honestly, like you mentioned, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they need to get 3 starters out of these first 3 picks, or 2 if they use those 2s to maybe move back into the first round and get somebody they want. Which is a possibility.
My thought is, we keep talking about beefing up the lines. If you draft 2 O linemen within the first 3 picks, one of them realistically is probably not starting. One True. Will, one won't, or maybe both don't, because it takes time for offensive linemen to get going. I thought there was an interesting quote. Dan Richard talked this week, the offensive line coach, and he said something that we talked about in the preseason, and it was about Karan Amagaji and how he was basically thrown to the wolves last season. He didn't have a preseason. He really didn't have a game plan once he got in, and he was just fed to the lions. And I think they're still high on Karan Amagaji. We saw the worst of him last year, but like I said, it was a bad coaching staff, and that poor kid coming from Yale really didn't know. He was a deer in headlights. So I'm interested to see what this regime could do with Karan Amagaji. I still don't think he'll play a lot this year, but if he's learning from all these veterans that they signed, he could be a piece in the future. So where I think last year we were they really didn't do anything to address the O-line. They really have in the offseason. So where you don't have to, really reach for anybody within the first 3 picks or so. But I still would be happy if they, drafted 2 out of 3 are O linemen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they might. And I mean, with these first 4 picks, right? What is top 72?
Yeah.
They're going to have, like you said, at least 2 starters. But I think they'll go like an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, whether it's edge or interior, and then they'll do a running back in the first 3 picks. I think it's almost positive that they'll do that unless they end up getting like Tyler Warner or something with the 10th pick. But they're definitely going 2 linemen and a running back in those first, at least in the first 4 picks.
I said that in we had the Bears like off-season preview, and I asked that one of the questions they said that the Ryan Poles is going to take a day 1 or 2 running back. And I think you guys said, initially you guys, I think were no on that. But I think now it's with Ben Johnson, it's leaning more towards yes, it's going to be a day 1 or day 2.
Yeah, I think Ben Johnson changes everything, right? Like if Ben Johnson says he needs a running back, you go get him a running back because he's molding this offense in his vision and he's had the success. So yeah, that changes everything. If it was the same regime and then they're going about, drafting running backs first round, yeah, we'd all be pissed. We'd be saying like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Yeah.
But the Ben Johnson equation changes everything.
Well, and the fact that they added 3 real offensive linemen during free agency and trades, makes it a little bit easier to take if they do draft a running back that high. But what would you guys think if they got they were lucky enough to get Campbell at 10 and then traded 39 and 41 to get back into the first to get Hampton? Something like that.
I'd be okay with that.
I like the creativity. I do like when teams do things like that. And that's the flexibility they have, right? When you got 39 and 41, you have a little bit of wiggle room to really, do some damage, whether it's to trade back into, the later teens or even, pick 20 to 25 or something like that, if you really are looking to get somebody. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that, Bob.
Are we all in agreement? We don't want Tyler Warren getting picked here at number 10.
No,
I
I'm
think
okay with it.
You're okay with it? I don't think I'm okay with it.
I'm not okay with that. I don't think I'm okay with that. Like, listen, if that's who they pick, if it's something that Ben Johnson wants to get, I have to be like, okay, I'm not a fucking offensive coordinator. I've never played NFL in my life or football in my life. But what I'm saying is that, I have to trust what they want, if that's going to really open up the offense a lot more. You got wide receivers, you got a veteran running back, and then you have a very good offensive line, a lot better than you did last year. That's for sure. But I don't know if I want Warren. I think either you go running back or you're going to go offensive tackle. And I think offensive tackle will be my first choice here. Again, this is a very running back heavy class. And I think you could get a lot of value going to the 2nd and 3rd rounds for a running back. So getting Warren, I keep on hearing these rumors about Warren. I don't want it. I don't know if you guys all feel that way. Peter, I know you said yes. Jason, I know you said no. I don't know about you other guys, how you feel about that.
Well, what if he traded back and took Colston Loveland in the 20s somewhere? Would you be all right with that?
I just don't think I don't think tight end's a big need for us right now. I mean, we just paid Cole Kmet, and I know people have, that's polarizing. Peter's
favorite player.
But I mean, we also saw last year the way that, Eberflus did not utilize Cole Kmet, that he went games without getting targeted and, had one catch or something. And everyone's like, you got to utilize him more. Get him more involved, blah, blah, blah. And I think watching the Lions offense the past few years, I think that Ben Johnson's going to make an active effort to get Cole Kmet more involved. And then we can actually see what we got. I don't think you take 10. Is he going to be Brock Bowers? I don't know. But I mean, I think
he's a very good tight end.
I know.
I will say he's a very good tight end.
But I just think
if we do get him, I'm not going to be pissed, but I'm just like,
I just think
we really need him.
Our line defensive end and either taking Genty if he's there are higher in my book than a tight end.
So if we look at and see how Ben Johnson uses Sam Laporta, that's the blueprint. The blueprint is there. And if Warren can be Sam Laporta and you add that wrinkle and that weapon to the offense, yeah, sign me up, especially if the best available offensive lineman and Genty are gone, because there's only a couple offensive linemen and everyone needs offensive linemen, right? So like there's no guarantee that Will Campbell or Membu are going to be there, or Genty. So if Warren is the best available, and I did a couple of drafts where he was ranked the 4th overall best player in the draft, and if he drops to 10 and no one else is available, I'm okay with them drafting him, knowing that Ben Johnson is going to use him like Sam Laporta.
And he runs a lot of 2 tight end sets.
Right. That doesn't mean that Cole Kmet is just out hanging out to dry, right? Like, I think there's a way to utilize them both. So let's get into the mocks, and I'll get your guys. We could scroll to and from. There's 2 screens. I did 6 mocks. I tried to draft the big names that are out there, right? I went to CHGO's articles and I went to a couple of different places and the Ashton Gentys, the Will Campbells, the Tyler Warrens. And then from there, I tried to do best available in terms of Bears needs. So the first one is obviously Will Campbell, Ashton Genty, and Tyler Warren. Those are the first of the 3 mocks that I did. And then from there, I saw a lot of people saying Mikael Williams, including Seth Rollins, Jason, when he was on TV this morning.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that in a lot of mocks fall to the Bears because he's ranked 9th overall. The Bears are drafting 10. That seems more reasonable. Membo is another guy that a lot of people talked about. And then this last one is Tyler Warren again because he dropped the 10th. So this last mock, I just went straight best available player regardless of need or anything. I just went best ranked available player. So that was this 6th draft. So if you guys want me to scroll back and forth, you let me know, and then just go from there on see, just to see your guys, engage your guys' interest on like how like the Bears should or could go about this.
Can you go back to the first page?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that one sitting right there, the first one? Keep that one, delete the rest. That's where I'm at with it.
So you're going draft day, Will Campbell or bust, right? Or Will Campbell no matter what. But there's a possibility he's
tackle.
Yeah, there's a possibility he's not there. But yeah, tackle, like we mentioned, you solidify that O-line and one of them sits or possibly both of them sit, but in the long run, you have some really good depth there.
And is James Pierce going to fall that far?
Yeah, that's where the mocks come in. If you look at these, I used the ESPN mock. A lot of these are very similar because they project people to fall and land in the same scenarios. I put no trades just to make things easier because once you add trades to the mix, it's a free for all. It's goddamn end game where everyone's bumping around, going everywhere. So I just made it as simple as possible for everybody.
Yeah, I think with me it's the first or second one. Go back to the second page real quick. With I'm not sold out. I'm not saying I'm not sold, but I don't love Tyler Warren going 10. I think for me it's either Will Campbell or Genty for me, and those would be my two mocks.
How about Shamar Stewart coming in the second round? People are talking about the Bears possibly taking them at 10.
Yeah.
Not that I would be excited about that after watching some of his highlights, but I mean he's good, but he just doesn't get to the quarterback. He doesn't get the sacks and whatnot. But I think he's a disruptor. Maybe with Sweat he could be really good, but that's one of those guys that I would only take if they traded back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't think he'll be there at 39, right?
No, absolutely not.
He's gonna go in the first round. It just happened that in this scenario he dropped, and I'm like, immediately, yes. And
you
was in the comments earlier. Cam
real life guys drop too, so you never know.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's even like Atlanta Falcons last year. We saw what happened when they drafted Michael Penix Jr. and kind of threw a monkey wrench into everything. that's probably going to happen again, right? And I'm not saying the Falcons are going to do it, but there's going to be someone that does something unpredictable.
Yeah,
and
remember
that's where
the Giants GM's an idiot.
100%.
That's another thing too, that, you know, we're talking about all these mock drafts. There are teams that do some of the dumbest things and pick some of the dumb. Do you remember that one time where the Vikings didn't know who to pick and they just like passed on the Vikings on the draft? Like, there has been some crazy stuff that has happened in the draft. So that's like another thing. You could have all these mock drafts. I totally get that, but it's like how, you mentioned some of these GMs are dumb and they're going to take some of these like risk and be like the fucking New Orleans Saints where they, what's his name? Dick, traded what, like 10 draft picks or something like that for
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams.
So you never know what's going to happen. That's like, I think another thing that I'm waiting for.
Trust
Like,
Dick,
there's got to be
trust
something.
Dick.
There's got to be something that is going to disrupt this draft as well too. That might have somebody fall in at number 10 where we're going to be like, oh shit, we didn't have to go and trade to go get him. Like, we could have just stayed put and just got.
It'll probably be someone to like trading up and taking Jacksonville or Vegas's spot or something. I could see one of those two teams like just being like, oh yeah, we'll take the boatload of capital. In Jacksonville, they got a whole new regime down there, so who knows how they're gonna act. In their first draft, but that's gonna be like their old GM. What was it? What was his name? Trevor.
Oh, Balky.
Yeah, Balky. Yeah.
Trent.
I mean, yeah, Trent. Thank you. It was TB something. But yeah, he was just a fucking idiot too when it came to drafting. So who knows how the new guys are going to act? I don't know who the new GM is there yet, but yeah, I think there's going to be someone who's going to trade up and maybe, like you said, Peter, throw everything for a loop here. This is I will say.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. I did see a couple interesting mock drafts, and that everyone does a mock draft, right? Every beat reporter, NFL writer does a mock draft. I did see a couple that and not just one, but a couple different ones had the Bears taking a cornerback at 10, and that just pissed me the hell off because I think corner is like the last position the Bears need right now after
They
signing.
need depth though.
I know, but you signed Jalen Johnson, you just signed Gordon, you got Tyreek, who you're probably going to have to pay. I mean, like, is corner really our need at 10? I don't think so.
So the only issue or the only pushback I'll have to that, it's definitely not a need. Mm-hmm. But look at what the Eagles did this last draft, drafting 2 cornerbacks high in their draft. That changed their defense around. No one expected them to be that good that early. But when you have lockdown corners at 3 positions now, because everyone's playing more nickel than anything, right? You need 3 starting cornerbacks at this point. But when you have those guys locked down, that just that helps your defensive line. Now, I'm not saying, I don't think that's the right move either, Jason, but good teams, and we're hoping that the Bears eventually become a good team, and good front offices sometimes take best player available. If there's no trading involved and there's no real funny business in front of them, there's a chance that Genty, Campbell, Warren, and all these guys are talking about are gone. So if that's the case and the best player available is a cornerback, I'm not going to be all that mad about it.
I 100% agree. I mean, look at what's the guy from Michigan?
Will Johnson.
Will Johnson, yeah, dude, that guy's been earlier in the draft, mock draft days. He was mocked in the top 6 or 7, right? And now he's kind of fallen out. But if the Bears took him, I'd be fine with that. I mean, and you remember Tyreek Stevenson, little bit of a head case. Maybe they don't like, maybe the new coaching staff doesn't like him. Maybe they want to, and imagine having, like you said, 2 lockdown corners and a great nickel corner. So
now the one thing I think we're all in agreement, right? We're not drafting a punter this year. We're good on. We're good on.
We're number 10.
Double down.
Let's go wild, baby. Let's go. Yeah, let's go wild. Let's go get.
I was checking it out earlier today. I was looking at the top rated kickers. You know, and don't get me wrong, I love Cairo Santos, but he doesn't have the leg, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
That's
no,
true.
I don't
Yeah.
like Cairo Santos.
So I was scouting the kickers today, and there's a couple of guys, I forgot where they were from. One guy from Pittsburgh, I think, was the top guy. Give me a guy that could kick a 63-yard field goal, right?
Or a 63-year-old.
Or a 63-year-old.
We're okay
Either
with
or.
it.
I'm okay with that.
We're
We are
known
ages.
ages. We're
Yeah.
But give me a
ages.
guy, and
Yeah.
maybe that kicks a little bit higher trajectory.
How about it?
A little
Yeah.
bit higher. I don't need any more Packer block kicks.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, hopefully we could fix that. Hopefully we could fix that in the offseason.
All right. Before I get these things off the screen, Bob, there's a chance, obviously, it sounds like the Bears are high on Genty. If he's there at 10, they're taking him. But if he's not there, they are going to probably draft a running back somewhere within the first 5-6 picks, right? Of the other running backs available, is there someone that stands out to you or someone you think they should be going at? Because Ohio State's got 2 really good running backs. I think there's an Oregon running back out there. Beef Love was in the comments earlier talking about Cam Scadaboo, and we all saw that bold game that he had was unreal, stuff like that. Of all of them, besides Genty, is there anyone that you're like, oh, this guy could be a Bear?
I think I like Judkins the best out of the, you know, either one of the Ohio State guys, but I don't know, for some reason Judkins, watching his highlight tapes on YouTube, he looks really good, but Scatterbo looks awesome too, but he just doesn't have the speed, and I think they need
the size.
Yeah, but he was running people over and breaking tackles. You know, I don't know. It was kind of
he's got like legs of street
like Scotty to me, you know. But I don't know. I mean, like you said, it's a great running back draft, so I'm cool with any of those like top 5-6 running backs. But they definitely need to get one of them. Like, as much I like Roshan, but he's not the guy. He's not going to be your
like a third down back.
Even Wheeler's coming back next year.
Yeah, but he busted an ACL or what?
ACL,
yeah. So he's not going to be anything this year. He's a 2 years down the road if he's anything. Remember what he was undrafted, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was probably going to get cut, and then he blew out his ACL.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy. He could have been a doctor.
Yeah, still could.
So he might still have to be.
Still could, yeah.
Repair himself.
What do you think about Bob? What do you think about Caleb Johnson from Iowa?
I haven't watched a lot on Caleb. I know a lot of people are high on him. I haven't watched a lot. Maybe I'll take a look tomorrow and see what that guy's all about. But yeah, I
wouldn't mind getting Caleb Johnson as well too.
How is he fast? I think that's what they want is a speed burner, right?
It's whatever Ben Johnson wants in his system.
Actually,
that's the thing. Like, I think like you got a lot of good running backs. Like, it's running back heavy, and I'm just like looking at all these running backs in the draft. You got like a top 10 of good running backs that you could pick in the first like couple rounds. That's why I said you don't have to get Jenny. If you don't get them, that's totally fine. You could find a very valuable. You know, you talked about Judkins. I love Judkins as well too. If we get him, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna panic if I don't get a running back at the first round where Jenny's not there. Like, it's gonna be okay. We'll find somebody else.
100% agree. Although I would be really excited if we did get Genty. That would be fun. But
I won't. Yes, I don't think I would be upset about it. I would like to go offensive tackle first, but that's okay. If we get him, I trust him going into the Bears offense. And imagine if we have that running back core of Swift and Jenny. Holy shit. And that offensive line.
I have 3 guys that I kind of like my draft crushes. And I know this one is a long.
Who we getting horny for, Bob? Tell us.
This one's a long shot, but Matthew Golden, the wide receiver, I think is going to be a fucking star. Okay. I love Mike Green, but they're not going to pick him because of his off-field stuff.
You're just picking colors at this point. yeah, Golden, Green, what else? Brown?
And I think Walter Nolan is going to be really good defensive tackle. Those are my 3 guys. So, like, if we end up with one of those guys, I'd still be fine. But those guys are obviously all you traded back and picked them guys.
I think the number one important thing, too, is that we do got the first 4 picks and what the first 72 picks in the draft here. You got to hit it on the nail, man. I mean, I feel like you can't miss on a lot of these things. You got to do your research. You got to do, I'm just here just talking, as a fan and these guys, and again, I think what I like about it is that we have Ben Johnson as our coach, offensive minded coach as well too. He's seen it on both ends with the Detroit Lions and their organization and how they turned things around when they were kind of like where the Bears are at now. So I think just having that available, along with polls as well too, they have to hit it on the nail. You can't. I feel like you can't fuck up here. And obviously, if you're going for the best available, like I said, running back or offensive tackle or even edge or even quarterback, if it's out there, best available. Again, you just have to make sure that hopefully you do your research and you do it well, where you could get the right players, because I think this is a very, very important draft in the future, because everybody's all signed for what looks like 3 years. They're going on the same contract as Caleb. Caleb, yeah. So I think that's where it runs. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to make sure that all this stuff like works here. But Sam, get out of here.
Good rookie contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, Peter, hitting on 2 out of 3. I think I gotta agree with Bob here. I think we got to go 3 out of 3, but 3 out of 4 at the least. They just can't miss. They can't miss on these. They got to hit at least 3 out of the 4, the top 4.
Yeah.
So
I guess it depends who and where you're drafting, right? Because if it's at 10, you draft an edge rusher, you're gonna want him to start, but he's not gonna be an all everyday starter, right? He's gonna be part of that rotation. He's gonna be on the opposite side of Montez Sweat, and you're gonna have a couple 2-3 people rotating with him. So when I say starters, I guess maybe you want role players or you want people that are going to make an impact, right? If it's like I mentioned, if it's
70% snaps.
Yeah. If you're drafting an offensive lineman, there's a realistic possibility if you're drafting him in the 3rd, 4th round, he's probably not going to start, but he's going to be the 1st or 2nd guy up in the rotation as well. So yeah,
good chance he's going to play a lot.
Yeah. With our history, yes.
Yeah, no, I wasn't really basing it really on starters, but just being an impact. Because I mean, we got to be honest. Tamagotchi, as I call him, he was a bust. I mean, he could be something, but right out of the gates. And then I hate to say it, but Punt God isn't Punt God. He's mid as fuck.
Punt God's gonna be Gucci, baby. He's gonna be fine.
He's mid as fuck right now.
Everybody knows that punters are much better in their 2nd season.
Yeah.
Well documented.
100%. All right. I think that wraps up our NFL draft talk with the one and only Gas Money Bob. We want to thank you so much for popping on and talking some Bears draft with you. Always a fun time, and looking forward to seeing who texting you and seeing what you think of the picks this weekend. So but yeah, thanks again for coming out. We really, really appreciate it. And
awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
The best. Cheers, Bob.
See you guys.
Cheers. All right. That was our Bears NFL draft preview with Gas Money Bob. Always love chopping it up with him. He's the
best.
Yeah, great to talk about that. All right. Let's get to some quick White Sox. Oh, go ahead. Timeout.
This super chat's been sitting here for a good 54 minutes. Our guy Gordo is dead set on me getting the dirty Dominic Mysterio mullet. I told him I had a mullet like last Sox season. I had the Pesa Pluma thing going on, but he's all in on me with the dirty Dom mullet. I said I'll do it. Julie said she likes it, so I think I'm gonna try to do it. But I said he's going to have to keep pumping those super chats. As soon as he's missing a couple, 2-3 shows, I'm going to Supercuts. Because I'm doing this for him. I'm doing it for nobody else but Gordo.
And maybe your wife.
And Julie.
And maybe content.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's get to some Sox notes before we get to some nonsense here. So not a good week for the Sox. They got swept at home after they split with Boston. They got swept at home by the lowly Athletics. That was no bueno. Because the Athletics are just as much trash as probably we are. So not good for them. And then in Boston, only winning the one. So they weren't able to split with Boston again. But some unfortunate bad news on the front. Number one, we had a positive of Clevenger getting DFA'd last week.
Mhm.
And then everyone was like, yes, finally, he's gone. Don't put him to AAA. Don't send him outright to Charlotte. And then what did the Sox do? They send him outright to Charlotte. So now he's still back in the system, apparently stretching out as a starter now. Fuck, because bad news, Martin Perez goes on the 60-day DL this week. Probably, maybe might going to have another Tommy John. So it's going to be pitcher number 7 for the Sox with some TJ. But,
TJ,
not good. And then the hero, Chase Mydroff, 10-day with the nagging thumb injury. So again, we can't have nice things as Sox fans. Every time we take a step forward, it's 2 steps back. In this case, was Clevenger 3 steps back. So, guys, get your thoughts on, and then we'll talk Cuero in a couple minutes. But thoughts on the weekend and the injuries.
Yeah, cockroaches.
Go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just gonna say, the old saying about cockroaches, they just don't die. You can step on them a bunch of time, but then 3 more pop out of the wall. Clevenger, we just gotta realize, like, this dude is probably going to be on the White Sox until he decides that he doesn't want to play baseball anymore, because the White Sox have some kind of infatuation with him. I've seen things with trying to get him his service time and stuff like that.
That's exactly what it is. He's got to have some back alley deal with one of these minority owners, because the report came out, there's 1 billion minority owners. Yeah. Something's up, man. Something's afoot. Jason, you like to put your tinfoil hat on all the time. But this one is more than, everyone can smell it now, right? Like you mentioned, he's a cockroach. There's no surprise that, he gets cut. No one else wants him. No one's wanted him for the last 3 years.
Again.
But for some reason, the Sox keep bringing him back. Now they're stretching him out to be a starter, which they are going to need some more starters, because you mentioned they keep dropping arms left and right. But it could be anybody but him. But yeah, that's not surprising. At this point, I think we're all we should be, screaming and up in arms at this point. At this point, they've just beaten me to death. So it's like, all right, it is what it is. What the fuck? And that's sad. That's sad to say. The only one of note, the only one that is impactful, is Chase Mydroff. And it seems like it's not as serious as it should be. He got scratched yesterday, but still came in late as a defensive replacement, which is fine. That one shows me that he's a gamer. He's in. He's down to clown, which I love.
TW.
It goes a long way. And 2, then it's not a serious injury, because if they was a serious injury and you put him out there, malpractice up the wazoo, fire everybody, what the fuck are you doing? So I'm not too worried about the Mydroff injury. It sucks that it happened. It's inflammation. He's going to be gone for a week or 2, and he'll be back.
Yeah, apparently it was a nagging thumb injury, because he had it down in Charlotte before he got called up. He took a couple days off. Then he came up. It acted up again. So yeah, hopefully it's just, precautionary. Let's get it out of the way, get it healed up. But it just seems like it's just Sox bad luck. Hopefully knock on some wood here, but can we just have a guy come up and not get hurt right away? It's just infuriating that this happens to us every time we get a new player or someone starts to hit, someone starts getting hot again. And then, there's a hammy, there's a groin, there's a hand, there's a neck. There's a oblique. It's always something, right? So, it's like operation with the Sox,
Funny bone.
I was slightly excited to see how many more things you were going to list off.
I could wait for another 20 minutes.
That was impressive.
List of Jericho over here.
We got Achilles, we got calves, we got hammies, we got thighs, we got groins, we got obliques, we got elbows, we got forearms. We got concussions, getting hit in the head.
Appendix.
We got appendix. We got wrists. We got thumbs. We got fingers. Anyone pulled her spleen or something yet? I mean, has anyone got any internal?
I hope not.
Internal injuries yet?
Paternity leave.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That happens.
But yeah, so bad news on that front with the injuries. So they brought up Bobby Dahlbeck. I'll talk about him in a minute. But let's talk about Cuero. So our catcher of the
Our guy.
future, our guy,
Our close personal friend Edgar Caro.
yeah,
Cuero.
yeah,
Wow.
we got the picture of him at Sox Fest. But yeah, he got called up. I was there for his debut on Thursday. Didn't get anything, but he got some hits over the weekend. So I think it's just a matter of time before he acclimates to MLB pitching. And I think I'm excited for him. He didn't deserve to be in Charlotte anymore. He was hitting way too well down there. So now he's got to get Kyle Teal up, and we'll talk about him when I do the farm report in a little bit. But we got 2 guys up now. So we got a few more we got to call up, but the future's looking bright. So
Yeah, he looks good. Like we knew that like he was the first man up, if you will, that he's been playing good in the minors. And yeah, he's getting some timely hitting. He looks to be the part. And we talked about it last week. It started with Chase Mydroth. Now Edgar Cuero. Keep it going. Get all of this dead weight off this team. There's plenty to go around. There's plenty of guys that should be cut, DFA'd, sent to the minors, whatever you want to call it, and just keep bringing this young infusion of talent up. Because if anything, it just feels like I'm a vibes guy, and it feels like the vibes are changing slowly but surely, and it's like pulling teeth. But little by little, I promise that this, the head coaches, managers, everyone loves to talk about culture, like the culture of a team. And for the longest time, this culture was dead. There was no culture.
Right.
But slowly you bring these guys up and you hear the interviews coming out of Birmingham and Charlotte. Like, these guys are competitive. They want to win. The AA team for the White Sox won last year. They're very good. So, like, bring those guys up. They know how to win. The guys in the majors, they're all losers. They're all losers. So it's like slowly but surely keep turning that over. And eventually you get there. It might not be this year. It might not be next year. But eventually it'll happen.
You know what I loved about Cuero is that, yes, he's hitting and all that, but he gunned down somebody at second base.
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw that. I'm like, man, I haven't seen a catcher do that in a while. Literally, I thought that he was going to – I forgot who was stealing second base for Boston, but he gunned that guy down. And
No
I
more.
thought, like I said, yeah, I thought he was going to miss and all that. He got him real good. So that's what I like about as well, too, about his game. Hopefully he could carry the pitcher staff as well, too, especially a lot of these young pitchers that are going to be coming up as well, too. But yes, it is a vibe thing. It is something that we need to change because that was what was going on last year and the year before. Don't have a lot of people that are like Andrew Vaughn. I mean, come on, man, get him out of here. I don't want him anymore. You know who else I want out? Muffrey. Get them the fuck out of here.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
I've been saying that since Shane Smith's first game where he blew it for him. Like, get him off the fucking team. And now, him and his 10+ ERA, get him the fuck off this team. Just dead weight. There's got to be someone. There's anyone better. Anyone in Charlotte would be better than him right now. I do not trust sidearm pitchers for anything. I trust him as far as I can throw him, which is not.
Oh man, we're the Chicago Sports Bums, Aegis and also Armist. We're not sidewinders. No, we're anti sidewinders. That's good.
Are you okay with knuckleballers? Or what about Charlie Huff?
Yeah, I like knuckleballers. We don't see them enough. Shout out to
Sox hit the shit out of knuckleballers, man. They were always a good knuckleball hitting team.
Oh, it's Sam Wakefield.
Yeah, that's all they
Yeah,
can hit.
Wakefield.
They can't hit. They can't hit a slider worth shit, but throw a knuckleballer.
Yeah,
someone's
slider, cutter. All you need to do is like just keep throwing robber cutters.
Slider
out,
away.
cutters,
Slider
yeah,
away.
slider
Yeah.
away, cutter out. Like you're fucking. He's gonna swing at that every time.
Yes. 65 lack of movement in the seats.
You guys see that that graphic? I forgot who shared it. It might have been Beef Loaf, or he retweeted it. But it was Andrew Vaughn's like heat map, and like it was zeros right down the middle.
Oh yeah.
So
Dude,
all you-
that's what pisses me off, man. Dude, remember we talked about this when what's the sideline reporter for the White Sox now?
Brooke Fletcher.
Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah.
She talked to Andrew Vaughn about the torpedo bats, and I talked about it before, but him talking about he's worried about him affecting his balance. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what this guy has to do. I don't care if it's torpedo bats, steroids, hair plugs, because me and Julie were watching the game and everyone talks about his height. Ain't nobody talking about how bad he looks without a hat on. He needs to go to Turkey. Maybe that's where the confidence, Deion Sanders, look good, feel good, play good. Dude, that guy, he needs to shave it off. Maybe he looks better shaved like White Sox Dave. But Andrew Vaughn right now with the comb over, he looks so goddamn bad with his hat off. Maybe that's the confidence boost he needs.
It looks like Kincaid right now.
I feel like also that should have been part of like the pre-draft interview process. Like, sir, take your hat off. Like, have him go run through the fingers through their hair. Like I'm one to talk, but I mean, I feel like that's bad look. Gonna bring your stats down. So
you think that Andrew Vaughn, he's playing bad because he has a comb over?
yes.
Yeah.
Or are we all in? Okay. All right.
Yeah, gotta change it up. Like Peter said, shave it. Get a beard, get a goatee, do something. Well, maybe not a goatee. That might look a little bad.
Maybe he can't get a beard.
Who cares? Hey, I try. I can't grow a mustache, but look at me.
Yeah, look at you.
I'm trying. I'm trying more than Andrew Vaughn.
Growing a mustache.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You are trying.
We're so focused
I'm very proud of you. Yeah,
we're so focused on Andrew Vaughn's glow up. Let's just get good at baseball. Fuck looking good.
One step at a time. You know what? If my baseball player is going to be shitty, at least I want to be able to look at them. He looks like a fool right now, man. I watched him all weekend in Boston, and he was in the dugout with his hat all sideways and his comb over. He looked like fucking Gollum or something.
All right. Well, you know what? Hey, Grady Sizemore. He's something good to look at. Look what he's doing with the fucking team.
Well, he should probably be playing. Bring him back. Unretired. Put him on the field.
Yeah.
I kind of feel Gollum's a lot better than Andrew Vaughn, though. I think that's an insult to Gollum. So
apologies to my
somebody
man
else.
Steve.
Yeah, somebody.
Before I get to the farm report real quick, next guy to get called up, who do you think it is? I mean, I know they just called off. They called up Bobby Dahlbeck for right now for with Chase being up. But who do you think is the next core guy to be called up now?
Yeah, because there's going to be people coming and going, like these quadruple A players. Somebody gets hurt, somebody. But of the core, like you mentioned, it's got to be Teal.
Yeah,
I'm going Tim Elko.
I think so.
Oh,
too.
that's true. We talked about that last week.
He's doing good, man. That. He's killing the ball
that's
right
a good
now.
call. That's a good call, Jay.
So let's get to the farm report right here. So this is the last week. How the guys did, very high level. I'm not going too crazy in depth with the stats, but Kyle Teal hit 278, 5 for 18 with the home run. So all right,
278 is not bad.
No, I mean he had a couple down week, but now I feel like he's fighting his stride
for average.
Yeah.
Average.
Colson Montgomery though, talk of the town. I guess
is he back
last week. He went 292, 7 for 24, a home run, 9 Ks. So still striking out a lot, but he got 7 hits, guys. So it's not below 100. So thank God for that. But the 35 Ks on the year are an issue. But good to see that he actually picked up production this week.
So yeah, he was on a 6-game hit streak last time I checked, right? And he hit a home run. It seemed like he's still striking out a shit ton. So that's still too much. He hit 292 this week. How much did that bump up his average? Do you know?
Hold on 1 second. I can tell you that.
What's his actual average right now?
Because we need a couple more of these weeks, maybe a half season of these weeks.
He's batting 178 on the season with a 241 on base.
All right, 178. That was a bump up from what it was before. So
I think he was 111 or something like that, or like 091 or something like that. So
We
but yeah,
need a whole month. We need a month of this because I know the guy, or I mean the Sox, batting coach, or I forgot what his title is. Somebody flew down to talk to Colson and work with him.
They're talking about Grady Sizemore, the
Yeah,
offensive coordinator.
And Kyle Teal for the season is at 214 with a 321 on base. So he had a couple down weeks. So like I said, it was good to see him bump it up a little bit this week. But our guy Tim Elko, who we just talked about, he hit 350, 7 for 20, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. What a nice little week for
breaking.
Yes, that is
week.
That
That's
is
week.
Yep, 3 struck out 5 times. He does have a high clip, like strikeout rate, but took a couple walks. But the 3
so does Andrew Vaughn. So does Andrew Vaughn.
That's exactly what we talked about last week. Tim Elko will strike out a shit ton, but at this point, at least he hits a couple 2-3 out of the ballpark.
Yeah,
especially with runners in scoring position as well too.
That's what we need. So good week for
we
Tim
also
Elko.
have to remember this is Charlotte though, so
yeah.
That is a
hitters.
fairly easy easy to hit.
Yeah. The guy that they just brought up for Chase, Bobby Dahlback, he hit 563, 9 for 16, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. So you know what that means? He's going to come up and go like 0 for 8.
If he's Bobby Burgers.
Yeah. If he's allowed to hit. I will say though that like Venable's been pretty good about playing the guys who just get called up, unlike fucking numbnuts who would just let everyone who call up and then sit him for a fucking week.
Yeah, he did have a weird quote about Edgar Carroll though. That like he got called up on Thursday, and he started on Thursday. And then from there, it seemed kind of weird of how he talked about him getting playing time going forward, which is fine, right? He's a rookie. He probably going to need to, adjust himself to the majors and, sit a couple games. And I mean, the catchers have been getting hurt, but like the catchers on the White Sox have been playing decent, so it's not like they really needed to address it until Corey Lee got hurt. But yeah, I just thought it was weird. Like of all the different things that we've talked about, like, Will Venable, like us, like a learning phase I've talked about. Like it was weird that one quote, it was like, oh, maybe Kerr doesn't get as much time, or maybe he just doesn't get enough rope, but he's a rookie.
Yeah. All right, let's jump down to Birmingham real quick for the pitchers. Noah Schultz, he went 3 2/3 of an inning, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, 2 Ks. So not a good week for Noah on the bump in that start. So hopefully he'll bounce back on that. The 5 walks is a little concerning.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that from your potential future ace. So he'll figure that out though. I feel like he's having up and down starts, to start the season. So
he'll get it together.
Yeah. Hagen though, another good week. 5 innings pitch, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. So strikeout inning, I'll take it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'll take that any
Hagen.
day. Hulk Hagen. And then finally, Grant Taylor, 2 1/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. So short outing for him. Apparently they got I didn't realize this, but they have pitch counts down there where, once you reach your limit, you're pulled for the game no matter what. So it's like, oh, I got hard counts out there, because as some of these are short innings, you see them pitching 2 innings, 3 innings, and you're like, damn, that's short. You feel like you got rocked right away, but it's not. It's just they reach their limit. So
but I mean, dude, that's super positive. If you're getting 5 strikeouts on the 7 outs that you produced, that's solid.
Yep. All right, so that is my farm report for the week, and we'll have more Sox talk, probably a little more muted Sox talk next week, because we're going to be recapping Bears draft next Monday as well. So, all right, with that, Peter, you got some headlines for us. Let's get some nonsense, guys. Let's get some fun stuff here.
Yeah. All right, so first nonsense headline. We'll keep it Sox because this came out this week, and I thought we did the 90s rap thing. Thursday, August 28th, Ice Cube bobblehead.
Hell yeah.
We keep talking about how bad the team is, but their promotions and their PR are top notch. I thought this is awesome. You know, we questioned the Ken Griffey bobblehead and a couple of the other things. They got to lean into this kind of stuff more because I want this bobblehead so bad. This is like a no-brainer. I got to get to this game. I want this bobblehead to put back here with all my other knickknacks and tchotchkes. This is awesome, right?
I think it'll be lined up. I'm gonna be the first one there to get that.
Hell yeah.
You know, my only gripe about this one is they should have made it a talking bobblehead, and you push it. He goes, "Yo, Dre, I got something to say."
I'm just glad they just thought about this one. I'm just happy that they thought about this.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say
ahead.
I'm gonna go with like the little things, and I'm just happy that like they went ahead and it is Ice Cube. You know, like there's a lot of these minor league teams where you know who it is, but they do like a fake name underneath it for copyright issues. So we're just lucky that this isn't like Frozen Water. You know what I mean?
Like cold square.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Frozen square.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, they nailed the face on this one.
It looks good.
It's good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like how he's ready to fuck shit up too. He's like, with just
he's just praying for a victory. That's what he's doing.
So this is the thing. We need an Ice Cube one. That one's awesome. I want them to keep going with this theme. Maybe next year we get an Eazy-E one, and then from there we get a Dr. Dre one.
Oh, Peter, Jose says,
"Son of a bitch, that's a problem." All right, you know what? Somebody's gonna.
I'll bring the wife. We'll go in early. We'll get you an Ice Cube bobblehead. We'll
thank you.
We'll pull up My Sock Summer.
I'm gonna need to hire somebody to get that for me. But
hey, is this one of the
way,
special ticket ones?
It is.
Oh, okay. So, dude, so you don't even have to get there early. You go collect it then.
It's like first 10,000, I think, maybe not.
Oh, so it is not as
it's first 10,000.
Okay, because those special ticket ones, like you go redeem it later, you know. Okay,
gotcha.
Fair.
But yeah, we need an Eazy-E one. We need a Dr. Dre one. So maybe this continues going forward.
No MC Ren. MC Ren's not getting any love.
If he wore the Sox hat, I don't remember if MC Ren wore the Sox.
Good point. So you want?
I want people that wore the Sox.
Eazy-E,
Dr. Dre for sure. Even Snoop. Snoop did it.
Okay. If we're doing this, we're doing 90s. You got to put Eddie Vedder there too.
Nah, nobody wants that. That guy's a Cubs fan. Everyone knows he's a Cubs fan.
He was wearing the Sox hat all the time. You know it. He wore that Sox hat religiously every single time. He was a Sox fan beforehand. So
yeah, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that just opens the door for like a John Cusack problem.
Dougie, you read my mind. I was like, you're gonna get a John Cusack one now.
I posted a picture this week. David Beckham posted a picture of him and Posh Spice. He had the Sox hat on. Maybe we get a David Beckham bobblehead while we're at it.
Oh.
Nope.
All right, next headline.
We're going Chicago breakfast. Portillo's announced a breakfast item, a breakfast menu for certain locations: Chicago, Canal and Taylor, Elmhurst, Niles, Shorewood, and Tinley Park. Part of their menu includes a Polish sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich, some pepper and egg and cheese sandwich with scrambled eggs and sweet peppers, and then a bacon and an egg and cheese croissant. A bunch of sides. I know they got a collaboration with Stan's Donuts as well, and some cake shake themed like iced coffee items. Mm-hmm. So, are we all in on Portillo's breakfast?
I don't think I'm gonna be like going there for Portillo's breakfast. Hear me out. Number one, I don't know if having a Polish sausage for breakfast appeals to me, and maybe I'm on the outlier here. Okay, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. It doesn't scream to me. The pepper, egg, and cheese sandwich. If I really want a pepper and egg sandwich, I'm going to Tony's, going to Mickey. I'm hitting like the staples for a pepper and egg sandwich. And the croissant, I feel like you can get a good croissant sandwich anywhere, whether it's in your local diner.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know that you could fuck up a croissant sandwich.
Yeah, that's Burger King.
But I'm also not a big croissant guy. You know, I'm more if I'm doing a breakfast sandwich, I prefer biscuit or a bagel. So bacon, egg, and cheese croissant doesn't scream to me. It's just not. I don't. That's one reason why I think like what Burger King does all of the croissants. You know, so that's why I never go for Burger King breakfast to begin with. But I don't know if this screams to me. I think I'd rather hit up, you know, Taco Bell or McDonald's for breakfast.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know what? I think because they said that Chicago, like Canal and Taylor, that's not too far away from me. I think I might want to try this. I'm gonna try it.
Hit them out for it.
Yeah, I want to try it. It looks pretty. Yeah, report back. Yeah, I'll definitely try it. Maybe every Friday. I'll try a different sandwich over here. I'm not gonna drink the coffee because I hate coffee. But yeah, I'll check it out.
I will say I am gonna have to put a side-by-side taste test for those nibblers versus White Castle nibblers.
It's gonna be fun to eat.
I follow Jay Zawaski, Matt Zawaski's cousin, also a member of CHGO Blackhawks coverage. He has a podcast called the I'm Fat Podcast. Really good. They talk about Chicago restaurants and a bunch of different things on their weekly show. He has an Instagram reel where he tried these all out. He said it was really good. He said the hash browns were really good and they gave you a huge portion of it. And that's something that breakfast, especially fast food breakfast, and I'm looking directly at Dunkin' and their hash browns that taste like soap. They give you like 6 at a time. And it's like, if you're asking for a bag of hash browns, I like that you're loading them up. So shout out Portillo's to there. I'm willing to try it. I think I don't know if we got to talk to Pritzker or someone in government or someone. The Portillo's breakfast stand should be at every airport. It's got to be at Midway and it's got to be at O'Hare, because that's where I think this would come in handy. I'm obviously not driving out to Tinley Park every week, and maybe hopefully it comes closer to us eventually. But like that breakfast sandwich looks like the perfect type of sandwich to have when you're flying out of Midway or flying out of O'Hare.
Yeah, if it's good though, that's like another thing too. Like it has to be good. Like that, it's a good idea to have, but like it also has to be good. Like I don't like anything from Dunkin' Donuts. That Dunkin' Donuts shit sucks.
That sandwich looks great though.
It does look good. Like I'll definitely. I'm gonna try that. So I'm gonna try the first one right there. What was the first one? It was Polish sausage.
Eggs.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try that on Friday. I'm gonna go on Friday. I'm gonna try it.
Hell yeah!
Get some breakfast and I'll report back.
Yeah, the Elmhurst location's 5 minutes from me, so that is like
there we go.
Closest Portillo.
Dougie, here I got it.
Yeah.
Dougie, go get a Polish with egg sandwich. Yeah. We'll report back on Friday. We'll see what you know.
Okay.
Pop it on the YouTube reels.
We need Mailman Jack to do a review on the pepper and egg though.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like pepper and egg too.
The one thing that I will say with the Polish sausage one, I'm 100% putting giardiniera on that bitch.
Oh, 100%. You have to. Yeah,
100%.
Giardiniera and eggs is good regardless. I don't know if you guys have done that.
Yeah. Mild or hot? Mild or hot?
Gotta be hot.
Yeah.
Gotta be hot. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Next
I don't
one
like
up.
to taste my vegetables.
Dougie, we buried the lead here, but this is going to go hand in hand with the next story. This went viral coming out of LA, but look at the hat you're wearing, Dougie. Yeah. This is very, very similar situation here. An anonymous Dodgers player reportedly filed a complaint with manager Dave Roberts over Kike Hernandez's butthole whisperer hat that recently went viral. My kids saw it and asked me what a butthole whisperer was. I wasn't ready for that conversation. And Kike Hernandez commented on the Instagram that the Dodgers posted. They said off the Philly, and they photoshopped the hat out. Yeah. And he says, I feel disrespected that my hat got photoshopped. So then here you could see what the original hat looks like. Yeah. Fair or foul a teammate ratting out Kike Hernandez for wearing a hat like this.
Foul. 100% foul. Keep that in house.
Yeah, foul. And then you know what? The Dodgers, like seriously, like was his photo like the best photo that you could get that you had to like edit it? You know what I'm saying? Dude, how many players are on a fucking team? You can get another picture of somebody else. Why even bother editing it? The whole thing, the whole situation could have been just avoided, but the Dodgers just had to have this photo up there. So that's on the Dodgers.
100%.
Where do I get that hat? That looks like an awesome hat.
Johnny, we need a design. I need you
that's
and Jose in the comments. We need some sort of this type of hat. I'm not gonna lie. It's going
that
viral
looks-
right now.
That looks like a badass hat to me. I'm sorry.
Is a butthole whisperer the same as a butthole surfer?
Ooh,
Good
that was-
question.
Good band.
Good band from the
Butthole
90s,
surfer,
yeah.
Good band.
I would assume they're akin to each other.
All right, so easy fix on this to make it one of ours. It could just be Bumhole Whisperer.
Ooh.
Done.
Ooh, there you go.
Done and done. Print the
Jose,
print.
is he there? Is he still in the comments? You know what? Stephanie's in. She's still
Stephanie's in the comments. She's like a grown ass man. He should be able to wear what he wants.
Bumhole
dude,
whisperer coming soon.
We need to air out name names. We need to know which anonymous Dodger player it was, because I'm going to be honest with you guys.
Nobody likes tattletales.
People don't like the Dodgers for what they've become, right? You know, but I respect the Dodgers for spending money and trying to do everything they can to field a winner. We don't have that in Chicago, both sides of town. But this is how you lose a locker room, is all of this kind of infighting and stuff like that. So I need to know names.
Just look for the snootiest looking motherfucker on the team. Well, he's already they've already cut. It's like what was the game back in the day? Guess Who or whatever. Does he have glasses on? Who has a kid? Who had to have that?
Shohei?
Yeah. Well, obviously it's somebody with a kid and old enough to where they could ask. So that's going to narrow down half the team easily.
You may have to look at that roster and see like who's the narc. Who looks like a narc?
How about we figure it out? Investigative reporting.
Let's take a look at the Dodgers roster and see if we find who it is.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all the headlines, Peter, or we got.
That's all we got.
All right. All right. Let's play a quick ad from our sponsor before we get to some other fun stuff. The original Chickies Beef is a proud sponsor of the BumCast. We've got the ultimate food hack for you. Next time you're craving something absolutely delicious, you've got to order not one, but 2 mouth-watering slices of pizza. And trust us, the bums know a thing or two about pizza. Make sure you check out their pizza specials. Get 1 jumbo pizza slice with a drink for just $8.50 every day. And every Monday, while you're getting ready to watch the BumCast, get a large 16-inch pan or thin crust 2-topping pizza for just $16.95. So for dine-in, carry-out, drive-through, and delivery, that's the original Chickies Beef, 4152 Roosevelt Road in Hillside. And tell them the Bum sent you. All right. Dougie, you said you said this in the group chat. You had a question of the week, but you weren't going to tell us because you wanted us to think on the spot and get our reaction. So, all right. Hit us.
All right. So my question of the week, I was pretty drunk when I thought of this one. So
here we go.
Would you rather eat whatever you want and not gain a pound, or be able to drink whatever you want and never be hungover?
Oh, I'm taking to eat what I want and never gain a pound, because I love to eat and I would eat out every day if it wasn't going to kill me. So, yeah, I'm taking the eating out.
This is what you were hyping up for a goddamn week.
Did you hear what he said? Hold on. Hold on. In Dougie's offense, did you hear what he said? He was drunk.
I was drunk.
We thought about this. So,
yeah, it's no question the eating. You eat whatever you want, whenever you want. Be as gluttonous as you want. I basically, dude. I mean, I don't want to toot our own horn or whatever.
Yeah,
we're at the point. We're grown ass men. We shouldn't be getting fucking hungover like every goddamn weekend. That's a you problem. Or like what are we doing here?
Who's problem?
I got water.
Well, it would be a nobody problem because you wouldn't get hungover.
I mean, we could at that point we could just put the super chats on for chugging, and then we would just rack in the dough.
Well,
See,
yeah,
that's, you're not thinking about
I mean-
that. See, that could be, yeah.
I mean, could
What?
you
or we
could
do
you
the
think about-
competitive eating route.
Yeah, you could. I'm not saying you're not going to throw up. You know, it's not an invincibility cloak.
Oh,
But, I mean,
well,
you know, you're not gonna gain weight, but I'm not saying your health is going to be great.
well, then I want neither of those
Yeah, no,
options.
yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, I thought this was invincibility. Like I thought it was Mr. Burns in this. Through the
Yeah,
door. That I could-
Invincible.
No weight, no cholesterol, no clogged arteries, no heart attack.
how the question came about was I started looking at my calendar for like the next Whiskey at Comiskey, and because I have on my calendar Whiskey at Comiskey, and then next day off, don't plan anything, because day after Whiskey at Comiskey is usually you're just a shit sandwich. You don't want to do nothing. You're just lounging around, nursing your battle wounds, and I don't know. I just started thinking.
Okay,
about
so
it.
hands up. Who normally gets hangovers after a whiskey Kabisky?
No,
You don't. I don't either. I don't get hangovers after a whiskey Kabisky.
I think we need to give you more bourbon then.
I really have to be an asshole for and it happened recently. New Year's, I think New Year's, and then the last time I hung out with Aaron and Sandra, like in I got like weekends back to back where I was hungover in January, and that was the first time I was hungover in a long ass time. I'm like, this is a bad choice. But on the regular, no, especially not Whiskey at Comiskey. Those are work events, motherfuckers.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, those are work events.
yeah.
I don't get. Yeah, I don't get. I don't get hungover. I don't get. Oh yeah. Gordo. I'm sorry. Let's move on to it.
I mean, Jey Uso had a work event on Saturday. It didn't stop him.
Yeah, well, that guy's
This is
gonna
true.
lose. He probably
This is
lost
true.
the title tonight. That was such a bad look. That was unbelievable. And it's not the first time that's happened to him. He did it with
No.
Cody Rhodes too, where they won, and then immediately after in the press conference, he was just hammered. Jey Uso is probably hammering drinks in the locker room like an old 80s hockey player. That's the only thing I could think of is like as soon as he's done wrestling, I'm hammering some beers because Jey.
Yeah, it's
Uso's
like
drunk.
Babe Ruth. Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Drinking before, drinking not during, or he might have a drink during. They got those aprons. He could be, sip it a little bit like during the match and then afterwards. I mean, he was the first match. I mean, who was again? We're not going to go into wrestling.
He was the first match. Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to go into this because
All
we
right,
already talked about this. So. Yeah.
Let's bump some people.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
You call me a bum? My man, I take that with pride, with honor, that I'm a bum. I'm the king of the bums, baby.
Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum.
All right, let's get into our listener bums and MVBs. First up, we have Spags. My bum is me for thinking I could actually beat him in a race, and this made me LOL because when you think athlete, no one fucking thinks of Shane fucking Spagnola. All right, so the fact that he called me out for not catching the home run, and then when I said, "Motherfucker, you'd have done the same shit," don't act like you're a premier athlete or some shit. And his first thought was, I'm going to challenge you to a race.
I will say, I've seen Jason in a race before. You think that this guy doesn't know how to run? He's fast.
That's what I said.
I saw that we were at Jason's apartment one time, and we had, I think it was Jason. I think it was Joel, which Joel's very fast as well, too. And I think two other people. And Jason, to my surprise, I'm like, no, there's no way that he's faster than Joel. I was shocked the way that as fast as Jason is. So I would put my money on Jason over Spags any day.
That's what I'm saying. So my man Spags, like no one's taken away, no one's discrediting. He did the Shamrock Shuffle this year. Like he does like
do that.
he does like 5Ks and 10Ks and he runs on a consistent basis. But long distance running and a 40-yard dash is completely different. I don't think Jason's running more than a block, but if it's a 40-yard dash and we're timing it like it's the combine, I think I got my money on HBIC as well. I've seen him run, and I know Shane likes to think, dude, he's been at this for 2 weeks now, since last week when you were at the game, Jason. He wants to challenge you to a race. So I'm like, at this point, we have to do it. So when he tweeted this, he texts me and he says, I'm hoping me calling Jason a bum will make this race happen, LOL. And I said, okay, we'll address it tonight. It says, kind of point out that we do races in Chicago all the time. And I said, 5K is different than a 40-yard dash. What kind of race are we talking about? And this is where shit went sideways. He says, I ran the 40 in 4.6, and I have ran under 5 minutes a mile. And I said, wait, when the hell did you run a 40 in 4.6? That's literally Allen Robinson's 40 combine and Cooper Kupp's combine speed is a 4.6 40. I was like, come on, dude. He says, when I was in high school, motherfucker, he's like 60 years old. I'm like, dude, I ran a 4.55 mile in high school. That was literally 3 decades ago and 150 pounds ago. This guy's like Uncle Rico at this point. When I ran in high school, that don't count no more, dude. That's crazy, Tom.
At first, I thought he was just saying he's 46 and running the 40. That's it.
I don't think you're saying. Was he missing the one in there? Was it supposed to be 14.6? Because
when he said he ran a 4.6 40, I'm like, this is literally like Cooper Kupp combine speed. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So now we got to make it happen.
Yeah. Now it's fucking up my schedule because now I can't like wait to enter the parking lot before drinking and everything. I can't crack a few beers waiting to get into lot B.
Why?
I don't know, hold on, Jason. I don't know that. No, Jason. I don't know. That might actually help you even more. Like I saw you that whole race was from a night out of drinking, and you still ran faster. So that might actually be a good. That might be your spinach. That might be like a Popeye spinach.
But yeah, no. When the word athlete gets mentioned, no one is fucking thinking of Shane Spagnuolo. So get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Like, challenge me to a race because I didn't reach over for a fucking foul ball. Everyone knows he would have been sitting 20 rows back and standing like a statue. So don't at me with that shit. He ain't making a move.
We're gonna make it happen. I am worried about your hamstrings, though, Jason. But that's neither here nor there.
I've been going to the gym. I've been on the bicycle. I've been doing the treadmill on my time off. So I don't think
get him to the gym. We'll get him to the gym.
Yeah, but they're a lot looser than they were when I was sitting on my ass for 8 hours a day.
That's what we need to hear, baby.
Look at that. He's ready now. He could do this right now if he wanted to.
Do it. Let it rip.
Yeah.
Training montage, 100%.
Yeah, Rocky. It's like Rocky right now.
Get some ropes. All right, Joey P, bum of the week, Chicago Bulls. Y'all haven't won a home playoff game since 2015. Just pick a lane and tank, guys. Jesus Christ, stop trying to win the playoff tournament, the play-in tournament. Yeah. MVP, Dirty Dom Mysterio for winning the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Can't wait for his Hall of Fame induction.
Beso Pluma.
He's gonna get that. I'm gonna watch Raw after the show, and he's gonna get a pop for sure. He's gonna get a huge pop.
100%. Man of the people.
Yeah. Gordo, MVP, Turkey for letting Peter grow the Dirty Dom mullet. Keep them super chats. Keep them super chats coming.
Keep dumping those super chats, Gordo. It's happening.
Bum of the week, Peter. If he doesn't grow it, Peter's a man. Like 9 times out of 10, you're a man of your word. And you're not gonna
man of my word.
You're not gonna back out on it. Next up, Turkey. All right, we got a long one here. Bum of the week, Chester Cheetah for the quick extinction of flaming hot dill pickle Cheetos. MVB, Chester again for posting they're bringing him back. Bum him again because the post was old on April Fool's Day. Nope.
They canceled the flaming hot dill pickles. Dude, those things were hot in the street. I know you had them. Aaron had them. A bunch of other people had them. We had to go different places. Aaron ended up she went to 6 different stores to find them for Julie. Julie had them, loved them. And then they were discontinued the next week. It was only like a one-time thing. They got to bring it back. Bring them back.
Yeah. Permanent shelfer. Permanent shelfer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And second bum of a lifetime. This is a picture of Robert Kennedy Jr., disgrace of a human for saying autism destroys families, along with other terrible and dangerous untruths. Yeah,
he's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Don't say that.
He's an idiot.
Casey Taco, MVB, Steph for the Miami Heat. Okay. Guess. Yeah. No one likes the Heat. Bum of the week. Jose and the Chicago Bulls. You know, Taco, you really need some more substance with your MVBs. And, you're like too high level here, man. Give me some.
He was probably hungover from the ketchup. He probably drank too much ketchup.
It was a good game though. So, next up,
not a good game.
No, it wasn't. Next up, Mike likes autographs. Bum of the week. CHSN Shizen for winning the award for biggest viewership drop of the season. Runner up for Chase Mydroff's thumb.
Shizen.
Yeah, the Blackhawks were down like 78%, Bulls like 73%, and no shocker there, guys, because no one can watch games.
But here comes WGN, baby.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, but I wouldn't mind Bulls and Hawks games.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Full circle. Time is a flat circle. Just like when we are in our youth, we're going to be watching sports on WGN again. What a great idea that was.
Yes.
And old Sox intro on WGN.
Those are the best. Yeah. Those are the best. Yes.
And his MVP, Disney Plus releasing season 2 of Andor 3 episodes at a time, which I like that, man. I like when I really like the Netflix model where you just they release it all, you binge it, and I don't like the slow rolls that HBO and Disney do, and Paramount, like once a week. I don't like it. I want to consume it all now. It's America. I want it now. Damn it. So yes, I like the multiple episodes.
Did you see all the other stuff that are coming out with Star Wars? I'm actually excited about all the stuff that are coming out. Yes, I'm very excited.
All in.
Yes.
Yep. Next up. Jeff Bartlett, bum, having to show an idea of Walgreens to purchase a freaking gift card. I've never seen that before. But
I saw this. I'm like, what bullshit. The hell? What happened?
I buy gifts from Walgreens all the time, and I've never got carded. So that
is crazy.
It's got to. I asked him, I'm like, was it like a Polecats gift card or maybe Benny's gift card? Like what kind of gift card was he buying that like you needed an ID for? That I've never seen that before in my life.
Yeah. Or how much was it? Because
Joey P. No, we ain't snitching. I'm gonna take this comment down. We don't know.
Kick him out. Kick him out.
Joey P. Watch yourself. We ain't no
Jeff the big mobster.
yeah. All
right, next up we got Nigerian Prince, bum of the week, month, year. I don't necessarily want to read into this, but definitely seems that the U.S. representative has thoughts of Pope Francis's passing. I'll unfortunately read it. It's from Marjorie Taylor Greene, who known shithead. Today there were major shifts in global leaderships. Evil is being defeated by the hand of God. And she didn't name the Pope, but everyone's assuming she's talking about the Pope. And if she is, which she most likely is, fuck her. I mean,
another idiot. Another idiot. Yeah. Just idiots.
Yeah. Sydney Brown, MVBs. Wiley Ballard, Atlanta Braves TV reporter, for getting a girl's phone number live on air last night in Toronto. Jeff Argrest for breaking the story of WGN possibly broadcasting Shizen games next season, and Liam Hendricks returning to the mound. Your thoughts on the guy getting the phone number? Was that out of pocket or not? Like,
dude, I saw 2 completely different arguments, and I kind of understood both of them. There was a lot of people, especially like female reporters and sideline reporters, saying how wildly unprofessional that was. And that's probably the case. That's probably where the line should be. But as a one-time thing and as like a viral moment, I thought it was pretty funny. Like, can you get away with doing this more than once? No. But for that one time, you know, I didn't think it was all that bad. But yeah,
and she gave him the number too, right?
Right. Yeah. He got.
It wasn't anything where if she said no or stuff like that, and he was like, okay.
But the thing that I saw was it wasn't like he was just like in the crowd, like, oh, hey, let me get your number. He was getting egged on from the
yes,
the
he got that
team.
from the earpiece as well.
Peer pressure.
Hey,
yeah,
yes,
grown ass man
that was
falling into peer pressure.
That would yeah.
So I mean, he's probably just doing it thinking because the producers are telling him to do this.
Yeah.
So if he wasn't in the earpiece, maybe he doesn't do it. So I'm giving him a little benefit of the doubt on that.
Maybe he's a shy guy, and that's what they were telling. They were telling him like, hey, just go with this, see what happens, and if it doesn't, like, hey, we move on.
Or it's like all reality TV now, and it's all staged anyways.
It could have been staged. Absolutely, that's what I was going to say.
He's not like fucking Joe Namath, and he was like how he was saying.
Oh,
what's your name?
I want to kiss you.
Hey, I want to kiss you. Yeah. He didn't do anything like that. So
Susie Colbert.
Yes.
Yeah. And his bum of the week, Bums, Sportsnet Pittsburgh for muting the fans during the sell the team chants during yesterday's game versus Cleveland, and the failure of instant replay at the end of yesterday's Rangers game.
Yeah, wear glasses.
The little slide box was cutting it.
Yeah,
the slideshow cuts.
It cuts it out.
Yeah, was safe but called out. And finally, Mailman Jack, early MVP. Praz drove us to the early flight at O'Hare. You rock, good dude. His bum of the week, my pale milky white skin. I'm frying like an egg. Cheers. Hey, views look nice though, Jack. So
yeah,
it looks too nice. I appreciate Mailman Jack sending bums and MVBs from vacation. He said he was going to. I appreciate Praz driving our guy Mailman Jack to the airport. All good. My question for Mailman Jack is, why is our guy Praz in like on a potato phone, and then his toes and background of this picture in like triple 4K HD TV? Like I'm assuming it's the same phone. You're doing my man Praz dirty. He's so blurry back there and stuff like that.
Gotta wipe the selfie lens, man.
I hope we're having a good vacation though, Jack.
You have to get Praz a new phone from the company. Company phones over here.
Yeah. Well, you know, in the grand scheme of things or whatever, Praz isn't selling anything with his face. Jack may be selling his feet pics. So
yeah, we got it for free live on the BumCast.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's nice. Appreciate that.
Put fetishes out there that you know.
All right, let's get to our bums and MVBs. I'm gonna kick us off because I ranted about it a few minutes ago. My bum of the week is Shane for thinking.
You got him pissed off. Look at Shane. You got him riled up, man. He's just going. Go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, and Shane's bum of the week. So just don't need to go any further than that. MVB is My Sock Summer. He gave me his ticket and his concession discount pass for on Thursday's game. So I enjoyed it 20% off. It's nice when you scan that and you get that price for the beers and the food. So thanks to My Sock Summer.
Now, can you get to keep that coupon? Now, do you have it on your phone forever?
They have you get one each individually for a day, I guess, because it has it dated.
Oh, damn! I'm like, now we're living large, baby. 20% off for all of us.
Yeah, no, it says like it said April 17th concession discount. It was that motherfucker was dated. So
damn.
And you also said too that beer stand right next to the 108.
Yeah,
there was nobody who was working there either, right?
Yeah, Midwest Beer was closed. Beef tweeted and said that it was closed all week for the Athletics. I walked around Thursday. I would say about half of the stands were closed. Even some of like the main ones, all like the little pop-up stands were closed, and then some of the main ones were gated too. But
wow.
You know what? You know what? That hand up, bum myself on that.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
There you go.
All we ask for is accountability.
That's good.
Now you saying that, I felt bad because Praz ordered the Pale Holes Old Fashioned, and that motherfucker was $26. What he said.
Oof. Oof.
20% off would have been handy. $26 for an old fashioned.
Yeah.
Why? That's the bum of the week. Bum of the week. That. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
He gave me a little taste of it. It wasn't the greatest old fashioned. It wasn't terrible. The Southside Sling was horrendous. That is not a good drink. It tasted like watered down like tequila with a splash of like orange in it. That was not good at all. But yeah, Prez, sorry, my fault. I should have. Yeah, I had a brain fart on that. I should have shared it. I'll be better.
Get him a beer next time you see.
I will.
Prez a beer.
Yeah. All right, Johnny, you're up.
MVB's great Easter weekend. Like I got to hang out with my, love hanging out with family. My daughter loved everything that we gave her for Easter, so she was very happy. So, and everybody having a happy Easter. So, bum of the week. Since Peter, I don't know where he went. Jason, can you pull? Yeah, there you go. So my bum of the week is whoever did this wax figure of Triple H, because this motherfucker looks scared as shit or surprised or like a Scooby-Doo character. I don't know. It's like a lot of things happening all at once with this particular picture. And this is bad. Everything looks, for the most part, looks down, like it looks like Triple H, but the eyes, like, why does he look so fucking surprised as well too? That was crazy. So whoever did this, it's my bum of the week. Like, I'm not a great artist when it comes to like putting like wax figures or anything like that. So, but this could have been done a lot better with the eyes. Like, you got to check your work before you put it out there. So, bum of the week.
Yeah, like the look of the statue is, wasn't a fart.
No, he was like, yes, I did book this. I did book that WrestleMania main event.
Peter, you're up.
All right. MVB. What was my MVB? Oh, I got a slide for it. Sorry. We talk a lot about refs. We've had refs in all sports as bums. So I have to give credit where credit is due. And this was last week from John Boy. Mark,
look at that hair.
Ripper. Look at that hair. First MVP.
It's got like that
hair.
Look at that. It's like Eddie Munster. It's like Eddie Munster hair.
Wow. Mark Ripperger umped the second ever perfect game in umpire scorecards era. The other one was Pat Hoberg in the 2022 World Series. He did not get a ball or strike wrong for that entire game. Okay. So while we talk about, the robo umps and everything else, and we've shat on a bunch of umps, we got to give credit where credit is due. This guy with the good salad and got good eyes as well. He went perfect. So I was like, you know what? Let me toss him a solid, even though I don't think he subscribes to the podcast, so he won't ever find out that a guy named Baloney is complimenting him, but I am complimenting him. He had a good game.
Bring him on the show.
Shit.
Coming soon.
And then, so my bum of the week is the WWE, not for what happened at WrestleMania per se. If you guys want to hear about that, we had a whole hour and a half yesterday where we talked about night 2 of WrestleMania, our instant reactions. Johnny was hot. Dougie was hot. Joey P joined us for a while. It was a good time. But that had nothing to do with why I'm bumming them. On Friday night, they had their Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and it's something I've looked forward to always since they started doing these, since I could remember. Mm-hmm. I like the red carpet, the interviews, everything else. This year, WrestleMania was in Las Vegas, so 2 hours, behind us. The Hall of Fame ceremony did not start until midnight Central Standard Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Whoever thought that was a good idea? Why? I don't know why they didn't do it Thursday or Wednesday or pre-tape it or something. But the fact that they did it live at midnight, And bum of the week, me, for staying up and watching that bullshit the entire time.
You're a bum too.
Triple H's speech was an hour, 7 minutes long. I didn't go to bed till like 3:30 in the morning. I had to work on Saturday. That was a bad choice on my part, but I'm like, you know what? I'm watching. I know Dougie and Joey P were retweeting stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm staying up and I'm gonna watch this whole thing. And I regretted it so bad that now I'm talking about it now. It was a bad decision on my part. It was a bad decision on the WWE's part. For the love of God, make those at a normal hour or pre-tape them. Who cares?
Robert's right. A lot of them were sleeping during that time as well. Too. They could not stay up. I mean, I didn't stay up. Like you guys are troopers for staying up for that whole thing. I watched them the next morning. And when I saw that Triple H had an hour and 7 minutes of that speech, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I love Triple H. I thought he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I just like the way, like during that Attitude Era, he was one of my favorites. An hour and 7 minutes of talking, that's just way too long. I'm sorry. 20, 30 minutes tops, that should be it. Especially even for a Triple H. I don't think The Undertaker went that far. And Undertaker had a very good legacy, just as much as Triple H. And I don't think he didn't go for an hour. So I think for him going for an hour, and yes, you're going to be very emotional. You're going to be very tearful. I totally get that. But there were some stories you could have just like pulled away and just been like, hey, you know, he literally went through his entire career.
It was a filibuster.
Career.
He was up there filibustering.
Yes.
Yeah. After Michelle McCool's too. Michelle McCool's was terrible. But anyway.
Dougie, take us home.
All right. Real quick, I have a few bums, and actually, Jason, you just inspired me. All this bumming of Shane. I also need to bum Shane, but a different Shane. Shane Reardon. Shane Reardon with his fucking tweet, dude. With this tweet and his $50, thing with his whole,
buy me a jersey. I'll buy a jersey.
I'll buy a jersey.
Bleacher Shane.
Yeah, even if it was a joke, it was fucking terrible. I don't follow him after everything that went down with him and us and all that shit. But somehow it ended up on my feed and he was just getting dragged, and rightfully so. It was one of the dumbest things that I saw this weekend. So yeah. And you know what? I can't wait because Shane Reardon's he's going to be high on my fucking bum of the year list. And I think he's going to do some numbies, baby. He's going to do some numbies.
You play to win the game.
Play to win the game. So bum of the week, him.
Smart.
He's continuing to show himself as a true bum. Another quick fast one. Travis Scott. I know we all talked about it. He's that whole thing, that whole debacle. We're not going to get back into it, but that was just a waste of space, and it was just didn't belong. My last bum of the week goes out to my neighbor. Right now, our entire neighborhood is getting brand new sidewalks and aprons. And so they're doing one side of the street at a time. So we're only allowed, we don't have any access to our driveways for the next 2 weeks. So we have to park on the streets, and we're only allowed to park on one side of the street so that they can do the work and everything like that. Well, my neighbor across the street has been parking his car in the street, even though he has a fully accessible driveway. And we're all fighting for spots right now, all the people that don't have access to their driveways. And he still feels the need to park his car on the street, even though he has a fucking driveway right now. So we've talked to him, me and a couple other neighbors, but he keeps doing it. So, Jose, you know who you are. You are a bum, my friend. And
our guy, Jose.
Not our guy, Jose.
Yeah, we love our guy, Jose.
Yeah, we love our guy, Jose.
Yeah.
You got to fight fire with fire. You park your car in his driveway.
Yeah, you do that. No, I'll park my car in his driveway.
We all go park our cars in his driveway.
Yeah,
we already talked about it. The neighbors that are getting screwed right now because of him. His turn is coming up in 2 weeks. So revenge will be served when he doesn't have a driveway and he has 4 cars to my 2. So get ready, baby. We're going.
Yeah. We'll start bringing. I'll bring my work trucks out. I got a couple spare vehicles we could leave over there. Bring cones, whatever you need, Dougie. Horses.
Yep, we're gonna lock this down. Yeah, Mary had to,
Hell yeah.
yesterday on Easter. Mary had to park a block away and walk.
Oh, come
my
on.
God.
Come
yeah,
on.
I know.
Come on.
I know. I had a spot out front, so that was good for me, but not for Mary.
Oh, not for me.
Oh, what a
But-
chivalrous answer!
Oh,
You could
Bum of the week. Oh, come on. Bum of the week, Dougie. Come on. Bum of the week, Dougie.
Oh, what a
That's
fucking
bad, yeah.
scumbag move that is! I
Come on.
can't believe he admitted to that.
This guy over here.
But I did. I wanted to go ahead and I have one MVP, and it's also has to do with my wife Mary. I want to MVP the Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny did a bang up job this year. Got me a pizza oven, so you can't.
Yeah, sure. That
yeah.
the Easter bunny.
Easter Bunny.
So
Easter
the
Bunny.
Easter,
MVP Easter Bunny.
Yes. So when the Easter Bunny dropped that off and Mary couldn't get mad at it in front of the kids, it worked out so well for me, baby.
What a move!
Did you try it?
I haven't, not yet. No. It comes
What a
this
power
weekend-
move.
this weekend. Thank you, Easter Bunny.
All right. That's tonight's BumCast presented by Windy Series Sports Cards. Thanks to our very special guest, Gas Money Bob, for talking Bears. And we'll be back with potentially another guest. He hasn't been locked in yet, but we're talking Bears next week, post-draft. Until then, thanks everyone who commented, chimed in. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Go Bears.
Bear down, baby.
Baby.